And we are live.
Hey guys, it's San and Sarah, and welcome back to the BulbaSquad. So, we're doing a take two because we messed up yet last night.
Yeah.
We apologize for that one. We were a little upset with ourselves because we even talked the entire time and we had some good conversations with ourselves. So,
Yes.
this time we're making sure that the audio is going to be good. Sorry, it's at such a bad time. It's just we can't stream on the weekend, so we're aiming for Thursdays. We would like some feedback from you guys telling us what time specifically will work with you guys, so then we can try to find a middle ground. We're thinking 6 o'clock because it's an hour after the. It'll be an hour after the
Regular work.
regular 9 to 5, but we're not sure. From what we've been told, apparently some people or more people have Fridays off than I thought. Okay, so we would like some feedback on that so we can try and schedule it in such a way that we can actually communicate with you guys.
Hi, Jet Drip. Welcome to the stream.
Hey, Jet Trip. Hey, sorry, man. You commented and I didn't realize we were muted the whole time. I'm upset with that. Okay, I can't get over that. Completely forgot to take off my dog's collar, so be right back.
Oh. Alright, so while he does that, I'm going to go ahead and jump into the game. Apologize for the screen you're going to see for a second. Whoop. We are playing Skyrim. One of the best games. You guys get to see how I play, which is probably not how a lot of people play.
Okay, audio's still good.
Hooray.
I'll just keep tuning in every now and again to make sure that the audio's good. All right. Man, I feel bad because
I mean, you guys see my awesome gameplay.
Even with us saying literally nothing, you guys still interacted.
Yeah, we still got like 30 something views. Probably not for that long, but
yeah, if Friday is actually a good day to stream, the only issue with it is giving you guys a little bit of peek into my life. I work on Saturdays starting at 5 a.m., so I gotta wake up really early and go to bed really early, which is usually like 8 o'clock, so that way I can get a real nice amount of sleep. However, because of that, it means I can only stream early, and my schedule is kind of rough. It means if I stream on Fridays, it's gonna have to be around this time each day, and I don't know how many people are actually going to be available for that. What?
Will you check the game audio is coming through?
Yeah, let me check the game audio.
Because I can't hear anything.
Did you?
That's not going to affect it.
All right, let's see game audio. Yeah, no game audio is coming through.
I can fix that really quick. You guys would have to look at me as I work on a computer.
Yeah, just let them see. It doesn't matter. We're hammering out the kinks in the system. We're learning. Yeah, we're doing pretty well. Jet Drip, just trying to enjoy our Friday before we got to go back to work. Yeah, Breyer Owen. I talked about this yesterday, but I talked to myself apparently, so that sucked. Yes, Monarch pre-orders being at $500 a piece. Okay, I'm taking off my earbuds so I don't hear myself echoing, but tell us whenever the game audio actually works for you guys, all right? Thank you. So, $500 pre-orders for Monarch.
Nope.
This one's going to be a little more difficult to follow with what I think about it. Essentially, there's a half-life theory. It doesn't quite apply anymore. Half-life being after every set that releases onwards from Flesh and Blood should be worth roughly half the value of the previous set.
There it is. Turn that down.
And that was kind of working for a while and it was following that pattern up until we got the print runs to release. Once the print runs released, however, it kind of went out the window, but I think the basic premise still applies. As the print runs increase, Depending on how much of a proportional increase that is, the product should reach an appropriate price. For example, Crucible of War should theoretically reach roughly half the price of Arcane Rising First Edition and Alpha First Edition Welcome to Wraith, because it has roughly double the amount of supply out there. Now, when it comes to Monarch, we're not going to know the supply for a while. If Legend Story Studios keeps doing what they're doing, they're probably not going to say it until like a few months after the set is released, or even maybe they'll even wait a couple sets down the road, maybe 2 more. Can't be sure because they're still very new. When that preliminary information finally comes out, we'll be able to better understand how these prices will manage. Sorry, I'm a little burpy right now. So Crucible 4 is $1,000, give or take, if I remember correctly. It's like $1,200 right now because it's only double the size of the other two. Knowing that information, if Monarch is roughly double the print run size of Crucible 4, which it is possible, because keep in mind how much time has passed since Crucible 4 released. $500 might be the upper price of the set for like where it's going to stay for like a year or 2. So that's why I'm a little uncertain about it. But if it releases and it has the exact same print run size, or only even 10,000 more than Crucible 4, which I believe Crucible 4 had 35,000 to 37,000 booster boxes out there, was the approximation we got. Then $500 in that case would be a steal. So I know it wasn't as clear-cut of an answer as you would like, but I just had to talk through my thought process with you guys. All right, thanks, Chat Drip. All right, Powerlifting 101. Oh, what happened? All right, give me a second.
They split it into 3 fragments and pledged to keep them apart. That was almost 150 years ago, and the pieces are still being...
Give me 1 second. I think the internet died real quick.
And they're right here in Skyrim.
Let's make sure that stream is still running. I think it's still running. They haven't said anything about it crashing. All right, Powerlifting 101. My local game store is going to sell them for $350 at release. I hope they don't change the price. Yeah, at $350, I would say that's a very solid price. We're looking at a price that, realistically, no, the set's going to be resilient, because unlike Pokemon First Edition and other sets and other games, there's a distinct difference in the First Edition for Flesh and Blood. Pokemon, it was just the stamp. Magic the Gathering, we had the alpha and betas, which realistically were just kind of slight border differences in cutting. For this, it's a completely new kind of card that is available in that set. Knowing that, I feel like just First Edition, this might be kind of ballsy for me to say, it's just kind of dumb money. Just buy it, honestly. Build a position in it. You don't got to worry about reprints. You don't have to worry about singles in the set really depreciating, because we're not looking at the singles. We're looking at the cold foils. And it just, yeah, Flesh and Blood has been my bread and butter as of recently. I've been loving it, just investigating it, learning stuff about it, and figuring some stuff out. Like, did you guys know Crucible of War cold foils have been getting bought out? There's like 12 on the market right now. That's it. Just 12. And I was doing some math. If there's 35, let's say 37,000 booster boxes out there of Crucible of War, and we got, I believe it was, let me see, where do I have my whiteboard? Here, I'm back.
Well, I was hoping that would go better, but it did not. Oh well.
Yeah, 14 rares in Crucible of War, which are essentially commons that got upgraded. We would be looking at, let's say theoretically, 1 in 2 boxes is going to be a rare or a common cold foil. I'd say that's a good enough ratio. 37,000 cut in half. We're looking at about 18,500. We're looking at a little under 1,000 copies of every single rare cold foil is out there, and that's it. Are you shitting me? There's less than 1,000 cold foils of the commons in Crucible of War. And I realized, honestly, my opinion, any cold foil that's like sub $300 is a steal. Because I have faith that this game is going to grow, and people are going to want the cold foils, the older ones. With only 900, that's an amount that's actually competing with the Alpha Black Lotus. With not the Alpha Black Lotus, but just the Black Lotus from Magic. All right, let's look back at the comments. How many pre-orders of Monarch did you get? I did not get any. My funds have been tied up because I don't have that much money. And whenever I tried to purchase the TCG Player pre-release kit, just didn't work. There were so many people trying to buy it once I couldn't get one. I am waiting to purchase it from Rudy, and I'm just going to pay whatever he charges, and that'll be fine. But I'm going, regardless of what the market price is, I'm going to buy one to open on the channel because I want one of those cold foils. Not for investment purposes, simply because I really want to enjoy the product. All right, Jet Drip. I have two questions. One, which do you think is better to get? 2 Shiny Fates ETBs for MSRP or 1 Shiny Star V?
No, not the salt pile.
Second, I wanted to get into Flesh and Blood. Which set is good to start investing with? Okay. We'll start off in Pokemon. That one's a little easier to talk about. It's really difficult because Shiny Star V is pretty much at the end of its life cycle in Japan. And there's actually 2 print runs. I don't know if there's going to be a difference in the premium in the future because there is a Shiny Star V first edition. I had heard about this and I wasn't sure until I looked on my booster boxes and it said first edition. And then I looked on others and it didn't have that little red stamp in the corner. So that's going to be one thing we're going to have to keep an eye on in the future because will it make a difference? Who knows? But for Shining Fates, I could see it. I don't know. That one's just so difficult. If they print a ton of it, it's really going to damage the product because it's a product that people were holding up to Hidden Fate standards. And when they got disappointed, they just haven't been buying it as much as they would have otherwise. But at the same time, there's so little in stores. Because remember, regardless of what we ourselves see on the secondary market, Pokemon doesn't care about that. They care about what's on the store shelves. If I go online, there's like 4,400 Shining Fates ETBs available. That's not including the fact that some of those are selling 2, 3, 10 at a time.
Oh, okay, there she is.
So if Pokemon there's a high likelihood Pokemon overprints it and it pulls a Shining Legends on us. Because I could see this set pulling something like that, where Shining Legends was a good set. That's inarguable. It was a really nice set. It was just too small and there was too much supply out there. And in Shining Fate's case, because so many people had a bitter taste in their mouth, it would just take much longer for it to appreciate. I guess my end opinion would be, I think Shiny Star V would be the more steady investment, even if it's very likely it'll appreciate a little bit slower than Shiny Star V. What I mean by that is English sets have a tendency to explode unexpectedly. So if people have this really bitter taste in their mouth and never invested in it, and then in the long run it just explodes, well, you don't know if it'll explode always. But with Japanese, there's usually a demand for it. It's very consistent. And let's be honest, Shiny Star V is infinitely superior to Shining Fates. You have more gold cards that didn't get pulled out. You have more of the Shining cards because, what was it? Last I did the math, I think 9 or 12 cards were pulled out of the set. So it was pretty rough. All right. And so yeah, actually, I would agree with what powerlifting says. If I would say pick what you like more on your shelf. In my opinion, Shiny Star V is the superior set, plain and simple. As for which set to start investing with, I would honestly just tell you Monarch. It's just Arcane Rising and Welcome to Wraith are so expensive. It's really difficult to park that much money in it. And even me, having faith in the game, I still wouldn't entirely feel comfortable with it. Simply because I can't afford to have that much money tied up with one thing, which is why I'm so diversified. Monarch will be a good place to start because it's going to be much more affordable. And if for whatever reason the game crashes, which I think that's less likely than it succeeding, you'll be a little more insulated by the fact that you were at a much lower buy-in price. But I will say this: don't invest in Unlimited. Okay, the thing with Unlimited is, yes, eventually they're going to stop printing it, but we don't know how long it'll take for those sets to appreciate because Unlimited is player-based. And the fact that it's player-based, if the players eventually stop caring about the cards, that set's not going to want to appreciate as easily. I will say this, though. There is an interesting thing whenever you start examining the Heart of Fyendel in comparison to Unlimited. That was an interesting thing I've been looking at. I might talk about it next week. So, yeah, in conclusion, my opinion, Shiny Star V. But again, choose what you would rather be stuck looking at if things go south. And for Flesh and Blood, Monarch. Lower buy-in price. It's very difficult to get into the other ones. Actually, I would say possibly even Crucible War. Crucible War is awesome. All right, next. How are you going to manage to get Flesh and Blood from Rudy? His Patreon. Rudy has a Patreon, and he sells Flesh and Blood starter kits from there always. The kit, I believe, is going to have 2 cold foils with it, 2 cold foil promos, a unique playmat of his, and then 2 booster boxes. That's where I get a lot of my stuff, and honestly, even when the market finally calms down and people stop roaring for Flesh and Blood, I am going to keep buying from him. He's pretty much distributor pricing, depending on how you pay for stuff. All right, the Herbalist Gamer, welcome, man. Looking forward to the Flesh and Blood opening. Don't have much interest in it, but the cards are beautiful. Yes, definitely. Cold foils, though, I will tell you this. Those are cards you need to see in person. They do not look anywhere near as good on camera, no matter how good of a camera someone has. And I've realized this when I got my Crazy Brew. And the other thing I really enjoy it is the rarity. Remember, I just said for Crucible War, like common/rares, there's less than 1,000 of them, if my math is correct. If that's the case, imagine being one of 1,000 people to have a card. That's really cool. That's not something you can get in Pokemon very easily anymore. Tell me a single Charizard other than like first edition or the incredibly rare ones that there are less than 1,000. I'll be right back.
You know who I am. Lies. I don't know where this guy's house is. Hey, you're a companion. Wait, where? Oh, notice you. Where does this guy live?
All right, I'm back. Let's continue this conversation. I'm really enjoying myself right now. I always like talking with you guys, and it always saddens me that I don't have the stupid community tab yet. I got to be at 1,000 subscribers to do that. Next, Briar Owen. I know you said Monarch will be like Team Rocket compared to Pokemon. Will future sets of Flesh and Blood still have the possible big money gains? So the Monarch being compared to Team Rocket, it was just a loose analogy. I don't know if it'll have that explosive of a growth, but I do think future sets of Flesh and Blood will have the potential to make big money. The reason I say that is when we're talking about a set appreciating, we're in reality talking about the healthiness of the health of the card game. If you believe that the card game is going to succeed, if you believe it is going to continue to grow, and in this case siphon off of Magic the Gathering, then you believe by extension that any set that comes out from Flesh and Blood is just going to keep appreciating. However, some of these are going to appreciate slower, and that brings in an interesting topic. Because these sets are going to eventually start appreciating slower, because let's be honest, a lot of people now know about Flesh and Blood. I did not manage to get in during the first 3 sets. I actually got in with Welcome to Wraith Unlimited. So contrary to what some people believe, I don't believe in the game because it made me money. I believe in the game because I really like it. That's why I believe in it. And everyone thinks it's because I made money. No. I have made no money because I don't have a single first edition box, and I would love to have one.
There we go.
So I see I keep getting off topic. This is why I usually practice my videos ahead of time so I don't go on these ridiculous tangents that are really difficult to follow. So yes, in essence, essentially, if you have faith in the game, all future sets will continue to appreciate. It's just going to be at different rates. And some sets are going to explode, whereas others don't. Like, for example, let's take a look at Pokemon again. Jungle, Fossil, and Rocket have a lot slower gains than something like a first edition Neo Destiny or Neo Genesis box. Because those sets, from the get-go, were really popular, and there was less of them. With Flesh and Blood, when it eventually peters out, some of these print runs are going to come further down. And eventually we'll probably get a situation like that where a really good set comes out, but it doesn't have quite as much... What? Oh, I just have it paused. Mm-hmm. It doesn't have quite as much supply out there, and it could experience an explosive growth. But I think the dumb money, like just immediate 1 year, what would it be like? 1,000% returns are past right now. All right, let's see. Jet Trip. Okay, thanks. Definitely got some thinking to do with what I got. I've got so much Hidden Fates trying to get some variety. Yeah, definitely diversify, always. It's just the safest way to do stuff. It's why I stopped myself from buying so many Hidden Fates ETBs, because I have a lot of Hidden Fates already. Not in ETBs, but I do have a lot of it. I don't even have tins. Next, Jet Trip. Okay, no, Herbalist Gamer. The cold foils are limited to the first edition boxes, correct? Yes. Cold foils are only in first editions. As for unlimited, those will still have rainbow variants, but it's nowhere near as nice. So that's what I really like. That's something that honestly all card games should do. Just do something to kind of draw a line in the sand for collectors and players, because then by allowing both populations to live in their own little worlds, players are satisfied with cheap cards. Because let's be honest, Heart of Fyendel being $1,000 and unlimited versus well, not even 1,000. I think that's people just trying to force it back up, but it was like $400 in unlimited versus the first edition, which is like $12,000 or $16,000. That's a really nice difference. And that's how it should be. The players should get their cheap cards. So, Powerlifting 101. Do you have any insight on how to get a Patreon subscription with Rudy? Is it simply to just wait till someone cancels their Patreon with him? Yes, that is it. Rudy's Patreon is limited because in the past, little fun story time. In the past, when Rudy was selling products, he had it open to as many people as he wanted. However, at some point, public realized sealed product is money, and he got to firsthand experience when the market figured it out, because his Patreon started exploding with way too many people, and then he started getting scammed more often because people would come into his Patreon, buy like the max they could purchase, and then close their Patreon on him and charge him back.
There it is.
And so for that reason, he made it limited. But yeah, just wait. I don't know if you'll be able to get in on it before Monarch releases. Just keep an eye on it. But if you don't, I can pretty much guarantee you people are going to close their accounts because they're not going to get Monarch kits. It's just what happens. People throw tantrums. But keep in mind, whatever tier you go into, you can only switch in between tiers. If you stop supporting him or you like close your account with him, no matter what the reason, you'll get banned from his Patreon forever because it's just easier for him to manage it like that. So keep that in mind. I think it's kind of ridiculous, but you know what? He's got his reasons. All right, let's get to the topics. Yesterday I had some topics I was going to talk about.
What are you talking about? We did talk about them. Can't get
Yeah, but no one heard. It didn't matter.
There's a dragon up here. We'll fight the dragon.
You need a horse. Horses are the best mountain climbers. All right, so let's talk about some upcoming content because I know you guys actually do care about that. I got some spider systems I'm planning on doing. I'm actually planning on doing one today after the end of this video, after the end of the live stream. Because yes, I'm still going to give you a video because this live stream doesn't count. I might start doing Flesh and Blood weekly. I did say I'm going to increase it, but no more than one video a week. Just because I've really been enjoying Flesh and Blood. It's just so fun to me. Because realistically, when it comes to Pokemon, I like it. And I like the cards. But Modern, as of late, it's just been such a mess. It's not that fun to work in. It's just so much bitterness everywhere, and it's like, are you kidding me? I have to do all this work for this set to even get it, when I know it's most likely going to get reprinted.
Hello.
Let's tune back into this. Oh, this is Skyrim. I can see the confusion between that and Fallout 4. They do look very similar.
Do they?
They're made by the same company. Sometimes whenever you look at them at the mountains, they start looking similar. And one more thing, and I haven't made a video on this. I keep forgetting because Sarah's actually going to take care of this one. So I've been trying to teach her and get her more acquainted with the camera. I messed up on intrinsic value evaluations when I originally did it. So with intrinsic value, the way it's done is essentially we calculate out the value of each slot. Like, where do we get it? What are the percentage chances we get it? It's a little complicated. However, when I learned how to calculate intrinsic value, which was from Rudy, it was with Magic, and Magic does not deal in graded cards unless if they're Alpha or Beta, or the Four Horsemen and all that. So inadvertently, I transferred that knowledge with me, and when I took the intrinsic value of evolutions, I did it based off of the raw card value, which made it some abysmal amount, which was completely wrong. But then I went back after figuring out what I had done, and I changed it back to graded cards, and I realized, yeah, $400 or $500, that was absurdly underpriced. Because the Pikachu's at 9s and 10s. 10s are $300. Remember, it's a reverse holo, and I pulled people like 2 or 3 of them in a box. And the 10 is $300, and the 9 was like $150 at the time. That was a stupid intrinsic value, considering you can still pull a lot of holographics. And those holographics were worth a pretty penny. especially if you can pull the reverse hollow Charizard, which is much easier than the hollow Charizard, and it's easier to grade. Which do I like better? I honestly couldn't get into Fallout 4. I don't know why. I have it. I got the complete edition. I loved Fallout 3 and New Vegas, but I just couldn't get into Fallout 4. I'm not quite sure why. I think maybe just my taste in games changed, because now I like much faster paced, difficulty oriented games. But yeah, kind of back to what I was talking about with Evolutions. Yeah, I redid it, and I need to go back, and I'm probably going to make a video for Evolutions yet again. But just admit I'm wrong. I was wrong. Because I think that's an important part about being a creator. Especially, essentially the way I do it, being a teacher. I need to admit when I mess up. Alright, now, here's a fun topic. I wanted to talk a little bit about it, but I'm not too terribly versed, so which is why I'm not going to make a video. MetaZoo. Yeah, MetaZoo, the talk of the town. Honestly, it's I hear that name coming up a lot when I talk about Flesh and Blood, because they're very similar in the regards that they're taking on the giants. MetaZoo is trying to apparently take on Pokemon, and Flesh and Blood is trying to take on Magic. I'm going to be honest, I had no clue that MetaZoo even existed until about like 2 weeks ago when Rudy made his video. That is how little I knew about it. Flesh and Blood, I think I learned about it from one of Rudy's videos after Crucible of War. And that's when I started getting interested in it. But with MetaZoo, I keep seeing people talking about it and how it might be the next Pokemon. And it kind of scares me. Scares me for their wallet, more accurately. Have you guys seen... tell me, do you guys know anything about MetaZoo other than the prices they've got? Have any of you actually seen the cards? Their cards are like just knockoffs of Pokemon, and it's a weird mix in between Magic and Pokemon, but it doesn't have an identity of its own. It does. There's nothing to it that I feel sets it apart from everyone else. And to be honest, I don't like the cards. I think they look ugly. I really don't like them. That's just my personal taste. Possibly I'm in the minority. But when I look at MetaZoo, I just see people hoping it's the next Pokemon and that they can make a fortune on it. Or even more so, the next Flesh and Blood for easy money. Yeah, Herbalist Gamer, I'm not a fan either. Like, not at all. Right now, it just seems like it has no identity, and that's the big thing. One of the critiques I've heard of Flesh and Blood is that there's nothing backing it. Like no comic book, no TV show, anime, games, whatever. But Flesh and Blood clearly does have its own identity and the way their heroes work and their armor sets for them. And let's be honest, when a lot of people do compare the Flesh and Blood arts to Magic the Gathering, but when you actually sit and look at these cards, you realize there's way more detail to them than Magic the Gathering. But with MetaZoo, basically every time I hear MetaZoo, at some point of the conversation, Pokemon comes up. And that's just enough to tell me it doesn't have its identity. It really doesn't seem like people are playing this game, because I've heard no one talk about the card game. I actually went and looked. I haven't seen people talking about the card game. But with Flesh and Blood, I know them. I've seen people buying the singles. You want to crack unlimited booster boxes of Flesh and Blood? You can sell those singles all day.
I don't want to fight a troll.
Just use a shout on it. But you could sell those singles all day. But for MetaZoo, all I keep seeing is speculation in it. They have their own version of an alpha first edition. I think it's like Kickstarter first edition, and it costs like $2,600, like some stupid amount, and the game's not even a couple months old. It just seems like people are trying to make free tendies,
Dying.
and there's no organic interest beyond it could potentially be the next big thing. And that's just a recipe for disaster. Like, it could very well just become one of those other card games that fail. What else did you say? Does the MetaZoo hype give you any worries about the overall card market? Not really, because MetaZoo is just kind of experiencing what every other card game is. We look at Pokemon. Very clearly, people just want to buy into the hype. They want to sell, make some easy tendies. That's why modern is. That's why the junk slap even exists. Bye, Sabrina. And that's why I think modern will crash. Now he poisoned you.
I don't know what I just drank.
And honestly, we can see this in pretty much all markets. Like, there is still this hype. They want free tendies. We can see it in Pokemon. We can see it in Dragon Ball Super. We can see it happening in Magic at times. Granted, Magic is a mess right now, so that one's a little harder to see. And you could definitely see it in Flesh and Blood because people are buying and selling the cold foils. However, because the cold foils are disappearing, I'm not gonna lie, I think Rudy's buying some secret tacos. I straight up asked him. I'll see what he says. I really do think he's the one cornering the market on him. Because if an idiot like me can figure out that there's less than 1,000 rares from Crucible of War, Papa Cardboard can probably figured it out like a month ago. Yeah. King Taco, whatever you want to call him. And so, guys, just ask me whatever you want, honestly. I do not mind answering questions on do I think something is investable or not, because I would rather you ask me than a lot of other people. Because there are a lot of YouTubers out there that will tell you, yeah, this is fantastic money, you should do it. Me, I'll give you the pros and cons to it and my overall conclusion at the end of it. But because I gave you all the information I know about it, you're now more educated if you didn't know it, or at the very least now you're getting to talk about it more with someone else. And you can make a more educated decision. Because I don't like these people who just tell you, like, this is an underrated item, or this is going to be the next big thing. Because it almost takes the power of where your money goes away from you, and you just feel like, I should do what this guy says. Thanks, Island Hustle. I always appreciate whenever people talk to me about the different things I do. Whenever I'm making these videos, I'm always a little worried whenever I change up what I'm doing. But I know it's better to try and establish myself right now that I'm willing to talk about lots of different topics rather than corner myself into just Pokemon in the future and then I anger a bunch of the audience. I'd rather set the expectations now than regret just trying to play into the hype later.
What?
What do you... No, you can't grab those, sir.
I want them, though.
You can't grab them.
But alchemy.
Alchemy sucks anyway. You just use the glitch. Have level 1 alchemy and you can do it.
I don't know where I'm supposed to go to get this.
I don't know. Alright, let's see. Island Hustle. So question. If I have a bunch of semi-decent condition, let's say near mint level X diamond and pearl cards, would it be worth it for me to send them to CGC or wait to sell them raw?
There it is.
So, here's the thing. Whenever you have a card in your possession already, its condition isn't going to go down unless if you store it really badly in non-climate controlled areas and like just throw in penny sleeves just on your shelf like a mess. You really don't have to rush to sell things. If you have near mint cards, like they're PSA 8s and above, that's pretty solid. However, when we're talking about level X's, in my experience, I've seen 8s and 9s. Well, no, more so 8s. Aren't quite as expensive because you can still buy plenty of raw 8s and 7s. But when you start talking 9s and 10s, those start demanding a little bit of a premium because the Diamond and Pearl era cards, there's not quite as many of them out there. It's what's been happening to the X, Y, and Black and White series. It's why Furious Fist is like $1,000. It's like $1,500 because there's not all that many of these singles in there, and it costs to appreciate. That's a conversation I plan on having later on, another time. So I'd say just take your cards. If you evaluate them yourself, decide, all right, does this look like an 8? Is it on the fence between an 8 and a 7? Okay, we'll say it's a 7 because it's always best to hope to prepare for the worst, hope for the best. Let's see, yeah.
Take that. Mine now.
Okay, yeah, if we're talking more 7s and 8s, your options are you could wait until these cards get older and then 7s and 8s eventually become more desirable, because that does happen eventually. The only question is how much time. Or you can try to get rid of them and use that money for something else. Hey, Alec M. It's really hard to say which you should do because it's so circumstantial. Again, the most I can really do with you guys that I feel comfortable with is talking about it and giving you some food for thought. So yeah, if you have a plan for the money, you can sell. But if you have faith in these cards and this product, go ahead and keep them. Because if you have faith in it, even if it dips in the market, you're not going to be one of those people who panics and sells. You'll go, no, I think this product's good, and you'll hold. And a lot of the time, the people who have faith in their product do get rewarded because there's a reason you have faith. If you have the knowledge and you have the tools, usually that faith is rewarded because it was based off of something real, not just hopes and dreams. All right, what are your initial thoughts on Chilling Grain? I'm not going to talk about that yet. I am not very good at evaluating sets on value, just whenever I have so few pieces. However, Sarah can talk about this one.
Gosh.
Or do you want me to give you a little bit of time to get your thoughts together? Because if you want, I can talk for a little bit.
I mean, I think the set looks pretty nice so far with the different alternate arts they have. I kind of like the birds. I'm hoping they add the Reggies into the set, but I don't know if they're going to or not. That's just a hope. Other than that, it's really all I know of the set so far, so I don't have too much to go off of. So far, it looks like it'll be pretty nice, and it might be pretty playable, too.
Yeah, plain and simply, when it comes to me and Sarah's dynamic, I am much more financially driven, except when it comes to Flesh and Blood. I love the collecting aspect of that, too. But Sarah loves collecting Pokemon, and quite frankly, part of the reason I'm so financially savvy in Pokemon is because I need to fuel her addiction to Pokemon.
It's not an addiction.
Mm-hmm.
I just enjoy the franchise.
As it stands right now, Battle Styles seems like it's going to be a great set for collectors. It's a like I said, it's a gourd, or not Battle Styles, Chilling Grain. I defaulted to Battle Styles on accident. Chilling Grain is probably going to follow the trend that Battle Styles is going through.
Not die.
It's a playable set because I've been hearing that apparently the Psychic or the Dark Calyrex, the one with the Dark Horse, is really playable. And they still have Rapid Strike and Single Strike cards, so it's going to continue supporting playability. And I think it'll be a fun set. I think there will be some easy tendies to be made if you can buy at really cheap prices. But I don't feel comfortable investing in modern right now. I just don't. I said it before and I'll say it again. I'm stepping away from Pokemon, like my personal investing, and moving towards Flesh and Blood because I have more faith in how that's going to hold up post little TCG market crash. Yes, it's probably going to be just a crash and everything because there's areas in all the markets that are inflated, and that's fine, that's normal. But because I know that people are 100% gonna keep buying Pokemon, I think it's irresponsible of me to, even though I have the tools and knowledge at my disposal, to stop teaching you guys how to navigate it. And so for that reason, I keep learning the market, I keep evaluating it and figuring it out, so that way I can turn around and teach you guys more. And by extension, you guys can teach me more. All right. Let's see. Is there any Pokemon sets I regret investing in? The thing is, there's no real regrets anymore because literally everything appreciated. Like maybe the one thing I guess Battle Styles, I would say that one. I messed up. Rudy was selling Battle Styles, and I was expecting like $82 a box because that's what he used to do for Pokemon. Actually, it used to be $79.99 a box. And so, without thinking, I just went straight into the comments and I said, "I want one," and he approved mine. And then I saw they're $140 a box shipped. Ugh. But you know, business is business. I think it's rude to then pull out of a deal. So I went ahead and bought it, and me and Sarah are actually thinking about opening them because it's like 140. Market's probably not going to go high enough that we can sell it at a break-even point, but it's cards. Let's have fun with it. So we're thinking of opening one up for the channel. But I would say my legitimate biggest regret is selling Evolutions like I did. I sold so much of it. I could have had so much more money. My Timmy ass was scared and sold all that shit because it was my first experience with an explosion. But hey, live and learn. You gotta make mistakes. It's part of life. It's part of how we get better in this game. And remember, the difference between a Timmy and a Captain Timmy is Timmy don't make shit. Captain Timmy at least makes money. And that's the name of the game. Try to make money. If you make money, if you don't make money, you completely failed. So that's it. I wish I'd purchased more Evolutions. No, actually, not Evolutions. No. Pokemon Grand Party. That's one of my biggest regrets. It's a really nice pseudo trophy card. I saw it last year for like $500 and I wanted it. I'm like, now wait, I got other things to buy. I can't afford that right now. Look back on it now, I'm like, I'm a damn idiot. Now I gotta pay like 10 grand for it. Damn it. Okay, moving on. And always remember that even if you can make money off of them grading, you have to think about other things than you can do money, right? Your thought process is the same as mine. I just want to know what I would buy instead. What you would buy instead, you could either choose to try and evaluate the vintage / pseudo vintage market, or you could wait and do something similar to what I'm doing, which is waiting for the market to crash so I can come in and buy. Serena, social distancing, my girl. I know you're immune to disease. I'm not. So what I'm doing is I'm waiting for the market to crash so I can come in and buy booster boxes at prices I should not be able to buy them at. Yeah, it's at the expense of card stores and people, but you know what? It's just going to happen. You can't reach everyone, even though I'm preaching this as much as I can. Okay. Maybe you could make more by selling raw, but in my opinion, I don't think grading is really worth it because you were planning on selling right. Everybody thinks you can make a ton of money off ripping and grading, so there will be a lot of cheap slabs on the market because people want to go on vacations to buy boats instead. Yeah, there's a lot of people who are, oh my god, the worst one right now. I'm going to lock it away for 20 years. Are you shitting me? I don't even think you can think like 4 years in advance, let alone 20. You just like saying it because it's easy to say. Start talking realistically. Say something like, I'll sell off some of it once I get the 100% profit margin. That's more realistic. Saying, I'll look at the returns and I'll sell a little bit as time goes on. Because again, my end game goal is I want to sell enough of my products to keep breaking even and then just playing with the house's money. I want no skin in the game in every set I purchase. Except with Flesh and Blood. That one I'm willing to gamble. I have that much faith in Flesh and Blood. I am a shill for Flesh and Blood, even though I am not sponsored by them. I'm trying to work with them, though. I'm really hoping I can.
Hey, there's a man right here. Should probably kill him first.
Yeah, we all wish we bought 100 base set first edition blisters. I know, was it base set first edition? Yeah, first edition base set boosters. I would have actually liked to have bought more of my blister packs. The one I bought, I just bought it because Sarah really likes the Bulbasaur line, and I thought she would like the blister pack. I didn't think it would go to $1,000. So that one was just dumb luck. And you'll learn that because I purchased some of this stuff so early on, even though I was a Timmy, it offset the fact that I made kind of stupid decisions because time just caused everything to appreciate. I feel you on evolutions. I bought 11 ETBs for $40 each. I still have them. Lucky I didn't want to sell them. Yeah, the ETBs. I haven't sold any of those.
Just it was hard to find those too.
Yeah, they were hard to find. But because they're so damn undervalued, or they were. Well, Evolutions, and it was the stupidest thing ever. Evolutions was at like $800 a box. And the ETBs were like $50. Really? Really? Like, you're telling me the booster box is like $22 a booster pack, but I can go and buy these ETBs at what would that be? 8, 16, 24, 32, 40, 48. So like $6.25 a pack. It's just the stupidest mispricing I'd ever seen. I don't think it will really crash though, like crash. It will dip probably, but not until after the 25th anniversary ends. Yeah, I just say crash because it gets my point across a little bit better. I don't think it's going to be like modern is worthless, but I do think it's going to just become Roaring Skies era, which I keep referencing it because I think that everyone knows it, but I forget a lot of people can't find the information on that era. Because if you go around looking for videos, there's not that many. A lot of people were just upset and bitter and like pulling out of the game because they got burned so badly by Roaring Skies. To tell you guys the story on that one, essentially, when it came to Roaring Skies, these booster boxes were going for $300 a box, and stores were buy listing them for like, I think $150, $200, because it was really hot. People wanted it. But then Pokemon reprinted it and crashed the price all the way down to, I think the low was like $72 a booster box. Some obscene price. And that's what I could see happening to some sets.
Why do you keep
She's
catching
hot.
On fire?
Because that's hot, Sarah. But yeah. Skyrim will always be a classic. Please, never fix all the bugs. And so that's what I'm talking about when I say market crash. Also, I do see slabs like the, oh my god, the stupidest ones I've seen. Charizard GX from the Hidden Fates tin. The promo that feels like it's fake because it has no texture. Bunch of people are selling that. Are grading those things. Cardinal Gaming had a seller come in with a ton of them. And yeah, I do think there's a really good chance that the momentum's going to go into next year. Until those printers are 100% online and the pandemic is over, because we're heading towards that, it's not going to calm down. Well, when the party ends, there's going to be some fallout. All right, thanks for asking your questions, guys. I'm going to go back to my topics now. You guys can just ask questions, start stockpiling them, and I'll keep going through them like this because this is really fun to me. You guys just make me think on different topics I would normally not talk about, and this is what I enjoy doing.
Why do all these open to Skyrim? I don't understand.
All right. Now, when I was talking to Rudy, this is a fun little tidbit of information. Rudy, like 100% believes Monarch is going to change the landscape for Flesh and Blood. He didn't give me any details, but he believes that the set itself is going to be so iconic, so game-changing. Not game-breaking, but changing. And the arts are going to be so good, it's going to cause Flesh and Blood to explode again. And that honestly really excites me.
Oh, there he is. I found the guy finally.
When it comes to Crucible of War, that set supported all of the heroes in the past.
Serena, you're an idiot.
It supported all of the past heroes. And has some really nice arts. Like, if you go to the Flesh and Blood...
Ow. Explosion.
Just shout her off the mountain. But if you go to the Flesh and Blood site, you can see their card list, and it tells you which ones are cold foils. And man, they're really nice. I want those Crucible of War ones. Even if you look at any of the other sets, they're gorgeous.
Didn't work.
And if Rudy has that much faith in Monarch, whenever we're talking about Crucible of War and Arcane Rising, which is his favorite existing, this just makes me think that what does Monarch have to make Rudy say that? But yeah, it's just, again, I know I keep talking a lot about Flesh and Blood. I'm sorry about that. That's just, like I said, where I've been paying attention. Yeah, the Shiny Star V Amazing Rares for like $5 a card. That I haven't been paying a terrible amount of attention to different sets because Pokemon's just been so sporadic. So much information, so little time. At $5 a card, I don't know what I would say about that. Just because the Amazing Rares are a little easier to pull than you think. And they're really easy to pull in English. For long-term growth on the Amazing Rares, if Pokemon suddenly decided we're done with them, that's fantastic. It means that what's it called? It means that they're going to be more rare, and unlike Prism Stars, which were a really niche thing, Amazing Rares do look amazing in person. In pictures, they look like utter garbage. It looks like I threw up on the card. But in person, the texture is really nice. If the pop report on those doesn't skyrocket in the future, and they don't make very many of the Amazing Rares, I could see them being a sleeper object. Because, in my opinion, they look better than Level X's, which are just close-up shots of the Pokemon, because the splash art is really nice. And they have a very unique aesthetic to them. So that's my opinion on them. You could buy them at the $5 price point, but in reality, we don't know what will happen. It's very time dependent. You can pick that up, or you can wait and then use the guide to find them all. Because there's 28 of them. I still haven't finished that one. I've been lazy. All right. I think I remember you said you were a SM Pratt Patreon member. I've been thinking about joining. Is it worthwhile info he puts into those monthly videos? Yes. 100 times yes. So going to give you a little bit of personal information. I don't know how many of you guys are going to care about this. Because of how much time I've been spending in the hobby, I got a little arrogant, thinking like I stopped listening as much to other people, realized that's a terrible idea, and I forced myself to start watching other stuff. And I started revisiting SM Pratt again and realizing, yeah, this just offers so much to my knowledge base. And SM Pratt, to give you a little breakdown of how he does it, he just talks about events that happen during the month. Like, he would talk about, let's see, record sales that occur, various products that are releasing, how things were accepted, and then from there he'll talk about his purchases, what he himself is buying. So this past past one, he explained why he stopped showing his mail days, because he realized all he was doing was buying Scream promos, which I want to buy some now, because I have been sleeping on them. I'm a fool of a took. But after he goes from purchases, he'll talk about his sales. It gives you really good sales information as to what is selling. Is it just modern? Is it vintage? Are we talking pseudo vintage? Is niche stuff selling? And usually, and as of late, a lot of pseudo vintage keeps getting sold. And then from there, he goes to the overrated, underrated category. For overrated, it's just what does he think there's too much attention or the prices are too high for, that it's just not worth it. And for overrated, I think this time he said Shining Fates. Everyone keeps thinking it's going to be Hidden Fates 2.0. And it's going to be this really easy tendies situation. But it's clearly not. And I agreed with what he said. It seems to be following the path of Champion's Driveway more likely than Hidden Fates. And for underrated, well, you're going to get some free information from his Patreon now. The first edition Fossil Booster Box, believe it or not. Not Japanese, the English one. I went and I looked up the intrinsic value afterwards. He was right. There's like 3 cards in that box that in 10 pay for the whole box. Seriously. And the better way to illustrate it, and what he said, and this really shook me. You could go online and buy 36 light booster packs, and it's the same price as a sealed booster box. What? You get the same amount of packs, but 12 of them are going to be heavy. That's just a no-brainer. How did this happen? No one's paying attention anymore. All right, so now let's moving on. Sorry, can't add to the Flesh and Blood topic. I know nothing except for Pokemon and some Harry Potter. No, that's fine. That's how most of us start. We all started one TCG. I started in Pokemon. From there, I branched out into Yu-Gi-Oh, exploring it. I then explored Magic. And even a little bit of Dragon Ball Super, but I don't care as much about it because I have no interest in finance for it. I just really like the cards myself. And because of that, I'm not following it that much. I just buy what I want, keep it, and it's cool. Seems cheap for current modern market, but the market as a whole is high. So yeah, it seems cheap, but remember, here's the thing with singles, and it's part of the reason why I don't like singles. I can buy 100 $5 singles for $500 cost basis. And very easily, these singles could move $8, $10 up if the market mispriced them and there's real demand for it. But at the same time, if the reason they're that low is because there's no demand on it, that $5 card, if it goes down anymore, it just becomes $1 bulk. It's a very big risk, and that's why I don't move in singles like that. Granted, I have a madman scheme in the works, and one day I'll reveal that to you guys in like a year or two whenever I'm done with it. Let's see. Do you guys mod Skyrim? No, we actually don't, but I'm probably going to mod it on my Xbox. We're playing on Xbox, if you couldn't tell. And now that they have free mods you can install, we might just do that for fun. Sarah prefers the vanilla version of games usually.
I play farming games. You guys don't understand. I like just doing random, boring stuff.
Oh yeah, before I keep going with the questions, what games would you guys like to see? Would you like kind of calmer things like this, Skyrim? Or would you prefer
Mayhem, destruction.
Yeah, Mayhem, like Outriders, because I could play something like Outriders or Battlefront as well. Or maybe even something slower paced than this, and Sarah could play her farming games, because she really enjoys those. Like, she has a ton of farming games. Just pick it up and walk behind him. All right, now back to what I was saying. Those Scream promos have gone up a bunch already, though, but I guess the ceiling is super high for those. For me, when it comes to the Scream promos, I wouldn't be investing in them. I know I talk a lot about investing because that's where primarily I see needs to be taught. But when it comes to collecting, you just honestly get what you like. Because, like I said, my Magikarp and Gyarados depreciated by like $100 combined. But I don't care because I really like those cards. And with the Scream promos, I wouldn't be looking to resell them. I would be looking to buy them just to enjoy. As proud as a gem, you can never have too much knowledge. Absolutely. Because either you'll improve what you got, you'll realize you're a damn idiot like I am sometimes, or even you will add completely new knowledge to your repertoire. It never hurts to have more tools. It's always best to have the tool and not never need it than it is to need it and not have the tool. Yeah, they're still pretty cheap relatively for the Scream promos. A lot of random Pikachu promos are like $300, but these are really unique. Yep. Again, these are the epitome of art. It is literally art, just redone with Pikachu in it. It's going to appeal. Remember, the art market is like the granddaddy of everything. People buying art. That's where the big money is. I could very easily see those people one day noticing these Scream promos and wanting to get in on them. Actually, some of those people already got in on them and bought them. Remember, there may be a decent number of them, but people are going to want that card just for the uniqueness, even if they have no interest in it.
I'm just a poor old woman here.
Pay for BulbaSquad Patreon. Yeah, no. I'm probably never going to do that. I don't like the idea of paywalling knowledge. If the channel ever grows a lot and people just want my opinion on stuff, I guess. No, not even then. I wouldn't feel comfortable with that. I guess if the channel grew so much and there was a lot of people asking me questions, then I might do a Patreon and then just talk about some topics that I think are way more valuable. Like, for example, if I had, theoretically, I don't think we'll ever hit it, like a 8,000 subscriber channel, things like the Flesh and Blood Cold Foils, that there's less than 1,000 of the rares, I would not talk about. Because guess what? Those 8,000 people could buy out the market, and I would be screwed. So I would put that behind Patreon. All right, I can't buy a fossil box yet, though, but thanks for the info. I probably will subscribe to him because his small clips on his YouTube, I'm like, there's got to be more. Yes, SM Pratt has said it time and time again. The only reason he still does YouTube is because of the Patreon. Because we pay him monthly, he still sometimes does the YouTube videos. But whenever you subscribe to his Patreon, the monthly market recaps, every one of them is an hour long. And then once a month, he does a Q&A, except now it's a little more difficult to get into the Q&A. You have to be among the first comments because otherwise it's so long. The Q&As are about an hour and a half. So if you have questions you want to ask him, even before you watch the monthly market recap, just go into the comments, ask the question, and he'll answer it on the 15th of the month.
Something there.
Nope. I didn't take any of your stuff.
Play Link, The Faces of Evil. Oh yeah, Alec M says he would like to see farming.
A fellow farmer.
If you want to talk about your farming game, you're welcome to that.
Did you kill her? Is she dead?
Probably.
Wait, I want to loot her body.
You don't need the loot. You're a hoarder, Sarah.
I am not.
I can see Shining Fates having some hidden value because of all the bad printing going on lately. I opened up some ETBs and like half the shinies have silvering. Yes.
Where am I going?
That's going to be an interesting thing to watch it age. Again, it's just one of those cases of short term we can look at it and try to speculate, but without more data, we can't make any concrete. We're in cardboard. Nothing's concrete.
Everything's flimsy.
Yeah, any flimsy expectations or predictions. But it might make the PSA 10 of those shinies have some hidden value to them. I could see that. Unless a Pokemon suddenly fixes their printing quality. Which, if they do that, there goes that idea. If they don't, yeah, I think PSA 10 shinies are going to have some secret value to them. I need water. My throat's drying up.
Oh, fish. I swear I have an axe. Why can't I pull it out? I'll kill them. Oh.
You can't use it underwater.
What?
Mm-hmm. All right. What's your opinion on full art trainers in the long run? I'd love to see your farming games. Jet Drip is also on board for your farming game if you want that.
You guys can help me name all of my sheep because I'll have like 17.
Oh yeah, every person viewing gets a free animal. Okay.
Die.
So the full art trainers. I do agree they were undervalued. I have no love for them personally. I just don't care about them. But when I saw the pull rates on them, full art trainers are much rarer than we all thought they were. Much harder to pull. And because time passed on since the beginning of full art trainers, there's not that many graded out there. And as we have now learned, a lot of people like them waifus. A lot of people are willing to pay a premium for them. I could see them continuously appreciating just because, again, trainers are a very beloved thing. Obviously, you got to pick and choose. I feel as though the early generation 1, 2, and 3 trainers, also Cynthia. I don't know what generation Cynthia is.
Diamond and Pearl.
I don't know what generation that is, Sarah.
Give me a second. Fourth, I think.
All those trainers will probably keep being beloved and... I just thought about something. Diamond and Pearl cards are probably about to appreciate more.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Diamond and Pearl remake coming out. Everyone's gonna fly it.
I didn't even think about that. People are probably going to get some nostalgia for Cynthia.
Yeah.
Cynthia card best investment? ? And I like do that stupid face.
You know, for a game about dragons, I feel like there's a huge lack of dragons.
All right. Guys, like the video, 3 likes and 7 viewers. Nah.
Wait, why are you shooting at me?
Yeah, I don't like asking anyone to like the video or subscribe, even though I'm going to tell you guys right now, I added a little animation for subscribe to the videos because it works. And like, I think it's some ridiculous number, like 80% of the people who watch me aren't subscribed. So I'm going to add a little subscribe animation in the corner, but I'm not going to say it. And I'm going to try and make it early on in the video so it doesn't interrupt anyone. It's not going to be a full thing. It'll be a little thing off to the corner. Just so that, oh, sure. But I'm not doing the, hey, guys, like and subscribe for the video. Leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think about this. Now, I'm going to go on about it for another couple minutes before I give you the information because fuck your time.
Have you heard about Shadow Raid? Whatever it's called.
Raid Shadow Legends.
Yeah, that. It's a start fake
The new
sponsors just to
massive
bother people.
MMORPG, whatever the fuck it is. Fuck
What-
your time.
Now it's
This is
Genshin
an ad
Impact.
That's what it feels like every time I watch any video and it starts off with a goddamn ad or like and subscribe.
Mhm.
It's like, I know you wanted this information.
I know you're probably trying to figure out how to cook something, but like and subscribe to the channel. Check out this cookware that I use in my videos and go on for 10 minutes about before you even get to figure out how to cook your chicken.
Yeah. The way I see it is like,
Potion.
it's like we don't give a shit
That's
about
not what I wanted.
we don't give a shit about your time. Which that's a big thing to me. I know a lot of people are busy, which is why I make my videos short, concise, and I try to have them very in depth for the time I give you. Because I know people don't have like an hour or 2 hours to just sit there listening to shit.
Right.
Oh, Monty Vaughn. What were you saying, Monty Vaughn? I want to know now. I see the retracted message. All right. Let's see. Moving on. Do you have experience selling higher valued cards? They will be all vintage. I'm waiting for my return to come back from last June. Like better to just set a price and wait or auction. So I haven't sold a terrible number of things just because. Okay, I'm a greedy person. I want a lot of money for things, and I'm very patient, and I don't mind waiting. Evolutions was a oddity because I bought those boxes at like $113 a box. And when we're talking already a quadruple return, you can see how I get cardboard hands or I get slippery hands. But the way I sold those was I just threw them up for a price I was okay selling for, and I waited. I think that's the best way to sell items. Throw them up for a price you're okay losing it at, and just wait.
Could even go.
Because, go ahead.
I would even suggest throwing it up for a little bit more because chances are people are going to try to haggle with you. I don't know what's happening.
Also, take advantage on eBay. You can set a minimum best offer price, so it'll auto decline anything below that.
Yes.
But 90% of the time, I would say the best way to get your value is to just throw it up for a price and leave it at that price. Because you're in no rush to sell, because when you're in a rush, it causes you to be willing to haggle to accept lower deals more easily. So you'll be able to maximize the capital you're going to get from it. And the same thing with auctions. With auctions, it's lack of exposure. If you have an auction up for a week and you're not a big seller on eBay, you're not going to get the highest price for that. Let's say you theoretically throw it up for heritage auctions. Remember, the people who are bidding on it are going to bid according to the fact that they're going to have to pay a 30% buyer's premium. Or if you wanted to go another route, which this one's much better. SM Pratt does consignments now, where he'll make a YouTube video, he put it on PWCC and on eBay. Also on his Instagram. That would be another option, and that'll get closer to the full value. But auctions usually run into the issue of lack of exposure. Yep, buy it now is normally higher price, but it takes longer. Yeah, absolutely. When we're talking about collectibles, they're not as liquid, so I do advise whatever you buy, be patient, be able to hold the product, and just wait. Always set it to buy it now. And if the market keeps increasing, keep increasing your prices. If, let's say, theoretically, you have your box at $500, but the market's at $350, but then suddenly the market moves up to $450, move your box up to $6. All right. Please get sponsored by Raid. It looks so bad. No, I don't think I would accept very many sponsorships if I ever get big for whatever reason. I don't like that idea. It just takes away from the fact that I'm here to provide you knowledge.
The only sponsorships I will accept is if Pokemon sponsors us, which will never happen. Or if Story of Seasons, Xseed Games, and them sponsor us. Those are the only things I want.
Oh, Sarah, you could always ask for that Slime Farmer game to sponsor.
Maybe. Die.
I would love to be sponsored by Legend Story Studios. That would make me happy. Well, you know, Jake from Pokenomics said he would never ask people for likes, and look at him now. Yeah, people do change. I'm trying not to as best as I can. As you guys saw, when I sold Shining Fates, it was $68.50, all bulk included, and that was the shipping price. People called me a damn idiot for that one, and to be fair, I kind of was, because I was leaving a shit ton of money on the table. But because of where I started in the hobby, I absolutely refuse to increase my prices a bunch and take advantage of my buyer base and my audience. I don't like the idea. And YouTube, for me, this isn't I don't need this to grow at all.
Good job, Serena.
I have my own life. I work a job. I go to school. YouTube is just a side thing I do because I enjoy teaching people, and I enjoy having a community, not an audience, a community. I like being able to talk with people. And whenever it comes to real, like, in-depth talks like this, there's not that many communities out there that are all that open and willing. Because if you go to E4 and you're a Timmy, they're a little critical of you, and it's not all that nice. They're not always nice. They'll, like, tell you to get out, essentially, sometimes. And I don't like that. That's also why I open up the channel to Flesh and Blood, because those people are getting alienated by everyone. You go to a Rudy video, it's just like Flesh and Blood is shit, it's gonna die. You go to Flesh and Blood channels, there's still hatred there. Not fun. $27.40 a day for 365 days is $10,000. All hairs a year. I got ready for attractions.
That man didn't see me. Serena, you need to improve your sneak. Throwing off my game.
I do not know what you're talking about, Monty Vaughn. All right, Alec M. Island Hustle, Money Talks, and YouTube can have a very enticing paycheck. Yeah, it can probably definitely have an enticing paycheck. But I would love to be able to make money from YouTube, but I'm not okay making money at the expense of my morals. That just doesn't sit well with me. Do you think sets like Vivid Voltage will actually hold value when Pokemon starts pumping out reprints? Because the print runs have been so undersupply and have to continue. Because the print runs have been so undersupply and having to continue to make sense. Vivid Voltage is a very strong set in its contents. The demand is there. When I saw it for the first time, I was also of the same mind. It's going to be an incredible set, and it was. I don't know if it was that that the supply was low. I think they just couldn't print enough for the demand at the time. I expect them to keep printing more once those printers come back online. And I'm not going to believe it's a safe set until it reaches that finish line of out of rotation. Because again, we were already taught a lesson with what happened with Ultra Prism. Granted, it's recovered now, but for any of you who were around during that time, that was a big wake-up call for everyone. Everyone thought Ultra Prism was free tendies, and then it just crashed whenever they reprinted it. I do expect them to keep reprinting Vivid Voltage, but if for whatever reason they don't, that set's just going to explode again. I personally don't mind either way because I already have a case.
Serena, that was not the plan.
I already have a case of Vivid Voltage because I think I bought mine back in October or September. It's been a while, but I bought it during that $500 price point. I personally don't think Food Voltage will hold its insanely high prices right now, especially with sets like Shining Fates and Hidden Fates getting reprinted. Yeah, I don't expect it to hold the full price, but I do expect it to never go down to $100. Even with reprints, unless if we have like a 1-to-1 scale reprint, I just can't see it going to $100. There's just too much value in the set. I agree with you about not trading money for morals. However, people are willing to pay for a service. I don't see anything wrong with it. Win-win, in my opinion. Yeah, that's why I said if for whatever reason the channel gets big enough, and I have some certain information that it has the potential to make a lot of money, I'm not going to share it, and I'll put it behind a Patreon. Because like, look at Twice Baked Shake. He talked about the trainers and how it was undervalued and all these things, and then he wasn't even able to buy this very stuff he wanted to buy. I would rather not have to deal with that. I get some of my best deals sniping auctions. Auctions seem to work best for the most sought after items, but buy it now and patience usually wins the day. Yes. Auctions, that's where people snipe for deals. It's because people will snipe you that you don't get the best deals always. I know someone who I personally don't like sniping auctions. Not worth my time. It's just I don't like dedicating that amount of time. He was sniping a bunch of first edition WotC Hollows for like, I'd say 60% of the market value, 70%. So he could technically immediately flip and make free tendies. Yeah, it would be annoying to inflate the price before you get to buy. The smart way would be to pull a Logan Paul. Yeah. But at that point, now we're getting into market manipulation, and I also hate that. I don't like influencing a market when I already have the money, because it's like I'm literally abusing my power to make more profit and take advantage of everyone along the way. Oh, man. We're getting pretty far into it. I think we might call it a day at about 1 o'clock, give or take. Maybe a little sooner. Because I still got to record a video after this, so I can't kill my voice. What do you think we should make a video over, Sarah? Which spider system? Oh, no, wait. We can either do a spider system, or I can do the Vivid Voltage ETB.
I would do the Vivid Voltage ETB.
What would you guys actually like to see? Would you guys want to see a Champion's Path spider system, or would you like to see is it worth it for the Vivid Voltage ETB, which is kind of like a spider system for it, but it's just not quite as analytical because it's a single item rather than a full set. Because with the Vivid Voltage ETB, I think that's going to move a little independently of the Vivid Voltage set. Intro to Flesh and Blood? What do you mean? Like teaching you guys how to play it, or just talking about it? I don't know. I don't know what you guys are talking about. What you mean by Intro to Flesh and Blood?
Oh, I found it. I thought it was... These traps suck.
And actually, me and Sarah were talking about when we fully hammer out the rules for Flesh and Blood, because there's a lot of little things here and there that seem confusing and we need to better figure out. We're probably going to make a video.
And I can show you guys my great strategy of how I win all the time.
Yeah, just play one character, buff the shit out of its weapon, and kill you.
The only thing that really counteracts it is the brutes, because I have to use all my cards to defend in order to not die.
So guys, did you enjoy this style of Q&A? having some gameplay in the background to entertain you beyond just some, some fat college student sitting here talking to you guys. Yeah, I think I'll do that. Intro to Flesh and Blood, teach you guys the basics of it, how to play it, I guess. Yeah, I could do that. I might do just a basic intro and then just guide you over to Channel Fireball because they're the official guide for it. But even then, Channel Fireball missed some things here and there. They weren't exactly great ways to learn the game because we still had questions afterwards. We're like, wait, what do we do if we have this situation? How do we guard? Well, we could definitely do that. Oh, man. Oh, yeah. And for those of you who are still here, I may as well tell you guys, I'm planning on building 2 complete binders of all the anniversary jumbos. Oh, my God, he's going to kill you. Of the anniversary jumbos. And then I'm going to give them away whenever they're complete. So hopefully you guys are still around at that point in time. And I don't just lose a bunch of subscribers between now and then. And I'm going to give those away to just 2 random people, kind of like I did with the 200 subscribers. Just level up. It gives you health. Yeah,
Does it?
Level up and you choose anything and it refills it.
Hooray. Now run. Serena, get him.
Gameplay in the background is great. Stardew Valley next time. That's what they would like.
I wouldn't mind that.
Oh, yeah, your world or my mess of a world?
Not your mess of a world. Your mess of a world is too messy.
To give you guys an idea, my world... I can't join the podcast tomorrow. I'll talk with Pokeyal about that. My mess of a world, it is so busy that even with 2 people in it, we do not have enough time to do everything.
Yeah, it's like I have to sit there and take care of his billions of animals. And then he runs off and starts mining or something. By the time it's nighttime, he's like, all right, time for bed. And I'm like, oh, I just finished taking care of your cows or something. I barely finished doing all the chores.
All right, but yeah, I don't, believe it or not, I want to give you guys free shit. Like, Sarah has to stop me sometimes.
Yeah. Honestly.
Because the thing...
It's like, I want to give away all of this stuff. I'm like, you have to understand, you can't give away everything.
And it's really hard finding a middle ground, trying to find literally anything to give away that I think is worth giving away, because what am I going to do? Go buy like 1 Battle Styles blister giveaway, guys? Subscribe now. No, fuck no, I'm going to do that. I'll be like, all right, I got this booster box at like $82, so I'm going to give this away. That's why I gave away the Shiny Star V booster box, because I got it for like $50 less in the market, so I didn't care. And the other issue with giveaways is I don't like attracting Timmies who only subscribe for the giveaway. You guys ever seen those channels that have like 1,000 subscribers, but then they get like 150 views on their videos? That's because of all those damn giveaways. Give away some of the stuff to the paid members with extra info as well. Yeah, I could see myself doing that, but what? Just do fake giveaways like some people do? Oh, here's this giveaway. Wait, who won? You'll never know. My friend next door won. My dog won, apparently. I have no idea when the McDonald's promos are coming to Canada. Oh! Where the fuck is the delivery Charizard?
Yeah.
That's a fable now.
Come here, kid.
It was allegedly supposed to release with Shining Faith, then it was allegedly supposed to release with Battle Styles. It doesn't exist anymore. Are they just gonna throw it into random Pokemon Center orders?
Imperials think us all lawless beasts.
Oh, man. Oh, yeah. I don't know how many of you guys are in the Discord, but in the Discord, I told them that I might be getting Cardinal Gaming on the channel. Yeah, apparently he watches the channel and he's a fan and he would love to be on it. So that's actually why I started streaming. I wanted to figure out the kinks in it, seeing what's wrong with it, how do we get it to work, so then I can use StreamYard to interview Cardinal Gaming. And I'm thinking of having two forms of it. One where I cut it down so that it's like a 20-minute interview for those of you who don't have a lot of time and want to listen to it on the go. And then I leave the full unedited interview, which will probably be like an hour and a half long for everyone who wants the full information. Oh, you sold 2 special delivery Pikachus. Oh, that hurts me. At 150. I mean, you made money. That's great, but oh man, I should have made a video talking about that. Maybe I will. Because when it comes to the special delivery Pikachu, it has everything you want. For starters, it's a what's it called? It's an English exclusive card. It doesn't have a Japanese counterpart. That's priceless. Second, you got Pikachu and Charizard, literally the two biggest flagships in the entire franchise, with a unique art. And it was something they gave away for free. So it meant you could get it pretty easily. It just literally had all of the things you want, because you're getting all the Charizard fans and you're getting all the Pikachu fans. What's that, like 70% of the buyer base?
Probably.
I would even dare say like 90, because mostly everyone likes Pikachu. Even if they don't like love him, they're like, I like him. Sure, I'll buy his card.
Serena, what are you doing?
She's cooking. What do you think happened to the children? And
now that he's not here.
stealing all his books.
Yeah, I want them.
And I might make a video talking about it, because what do you guys think? Do you think that would be a good way to teach people what to look for in cards? In singles, I guess? Because the special delivery Pikachu is like the epitome of what you want in a single. Because that thing ain't gonna dip. Like, it's not gonna lose very much value, if any, whenever the market crashes, because there's so much demand by comparison to the supply and the art. I know people that have like 10 copies of the thing and they just don't want to get rid of them because they like it so much. How do you think it'll hold long-term value with the delivery Pikachu? I sold one at like $350.
Your money.
Yeah, a lot of people do have the special delivery Pikachus, but keep in mind, there are going to be people who collect that Pikachu. Like I'm going to collect Magikarps. I am literally just gonna buy a bunch of copies of that of Magikarps and stuff, and just have them. I know people who have like 3 master sets of Hidden Fates. Imagine what if we got like 80,000 special delivery Pikachus, and there's in the hobby we have what, 1 million people? No, not even that. Let's say 500,000. That ratio is still terrible. There's still lots of demand. And if, we got 10,000 people who each want 3 copies, 30,000 of the 80,000 are gone. So you get my point? That's why I don't think it's going to matter, even if a lot of people have it. Because I think I have, what do we got, 3?
3 what?
Special delivery Pikachus.
I think we only have 2.
It's either 2 or 3.
Because I know I ordered a Vivid Voltage ETB to get the first one, and then we ordered a shirt.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just, yeah, it happens. It happens to all of us.
I've been to this shrine before.
We all see the explosive increases. We worry that this is going to be it for the product, and we sell. And don't worry, you're not in the minority. You're in the vast majority. Since the beginning of this massive explosion, there have been so many people that just come and go with their products. So many people that they're like, oh my god, Steam Siege is up to 150. Get rid of it. And then and then it hit 250. Oh my god, evolution hit 500, and then I sell most of my position. Yeah, man, I gotta make fun of myself for that one. I should have worn the Timmy hat. We actually had an idea where it's like, don't be a Tim. If you're a Timmy and you sell stuff when it barely goes up, you deserve to get slapped. And then Sarah would walk in from off screen and slap me. What is your opinion on bots? Seems to be the only way to get stuff now because I never have much luck. I think bots are just a short-term thing, honestly. Bots are used whenever you're able to immediately flip an item via scalping. And that's not the majority of things. Think about it. You can find battle styles in stores much more easily than before. So I have a bunch of friends who are even able to find Shining Fates. I can't apply my experience to everyone else because I live in the DFW area. Near Leonhardt, near Real Breaking Nate. There's a lot of people here. So all my stores are always empty. Whenever eventually the profit margins just keep shrinking, they're going to stop buying as much. The bots will eventually go away. Again, the scalpers are not here and to ruin Pokemon. Scalpers are here because Pokemon is in such a bad state. Island, don't worry, man. Worry, learn from it. Remember to be greedy when others are fearful, and fearful when others are greedy. Yes.
I did nothing, man. I didn't look in that chest.
All right. So, because we're about to wrap up, just ask whatever last questions you guys want. We'll go through them. I don't care what it is. Again, I'm not here to judge you guys because judgment is one of the least. Judgment's just not efficient for anyone. No one gets to learn. No one gets to talk about it and learn because when I talk to you guys about this stuff, I learn more. And again, it just helps me with a lot of stuff. What's our favorite foods? Oh, man, I don't know.
Lasagna.
Yeah, lasagna. Sarah likes that a lot. I would say arroz con leche. The English translation, I believe, would be rice with milk.
Gross.
You'll have to look it up.
It's like rice pudding or something like that. Cinnamon thrown on top.
Yeah, it's not great. Okay, for all of you that actually made it this far, because I am certain that virtually nobody who watches this stream is going to make it this far.
What are we, 2 hours in?
I'll place the pieces on the altar.
Yeah, we're almost 2 hours in. So, the Madman scheme I was talking about, I'll talk about it right now because I don't mind. Essentially, I found some singles that I could purchase them at less than $1 a piece. Hey, Vincent. Man, I was wondering where you're at. Nice seeing you, man. I guess you're going to get to steal this info too. So I found some singles a while back that I could purchase them at less than $1 a piece, right? But then I saw their PSA 10s were going for about $120 at the time. Their PSA 9s were going for about $80, and then the 8s were worthless. They're like $50. After shipping fees and grading fees, it was worthless. And so I went out and I bought like 35 of this card. And I think my cost base is like 80 cents a piece.
Just put your hands on the altar.
Well, as I got those cards arriving finally.
It's loud.
Is it loud?
Yeah, he talks loud.
Ah. Sorry, guys. That's blowing out your ears.
I don't think that. I think it's going to be hard to hear both.
I'm just going to wait for a little bit until he's done talking so I can continue my story.
Kill him. Take your rightful place as my champion, or I will crush you.
Maybe turn down the voice audio. So back to what I was saying. Okay. Oh, volume is fine, Halakam says. Okay, so back to what I was saying. So, as I was getting these cards and I was holding them and preparing them for grading, these cards just continued appreciating. And right now, the PSA 10 the PSA 10 is valued at $250. The 9 is running around at about $150, $120. and the 8s is running around at about $80. And they just kept appreciating. And a lot of people don't care about these small gains because they got money. I don't, all right? Remember, $3,000 is a massive purchase for me. But I learned that because of this, in the end, the net profit ends up being some ridiculous amount, like
Using to wreak havoc on
I
Tamriel.
think it ends up being like $2,800, and my cost basis was like right now after all my grading fees, maybe $800
Mm-hmm.
because
We tried to make sure each cards were like what, 80 cents.
yeah, 80 cents,
That
and
was the
then
highest.
and then on average, I think I averaged them out at like 9s.
Fill the world
Because
with
the handful of 10s are really going to skew it, and a handful of 8s are really going to skew it. So I just said, screw it, 9s. Because by my math, you have a 1 in 3 chance at a 10, and then at a 9, you have something like a 1 in 2 chance. It's a really high percentage.
Ah, it's mine.
Yeah, I love this dagger. One shots enemies at random times.
Serena, get out of the way.
She wants it. She took it.
And now we run.
All right. So back to what I was saying. I don't mind not sending to PSA right now because this isn't a card that was very hype driven. This was just a card that was driven by the fact that the supply inadvertently became low because of what people did to the card and how it's being treated. People are treating the card like bulk. They're still treating it like bulk. After I bought out all of TCG Player at eBay for the 80 cents a card.
Doing good, Serena. Keep it up.
The card went to like $8 because of what I'd done.
I totally missed.
And it's just been appreciating like clockwork because the PSA population is so small.
Oh, you
There's,
totally got
I
me
think
there,
there might
Serena.
be like 100 of the card tops. And the reason I haven't talked too much about it is because it's an item that could very easily be manipulated. Because there's so little of it and the demand is so niche for this specific Pokemon, if I were to give away way too much information about it, it could potentially cause that card to just crash if suddenly like 100 copies got submitted.
What's in here?
That's where you got to go
For what?
to finish the mission.
Oh.
Where'd you come from?
Increasing the price by creating demand with your capital. Yeah, it's really easy whenever like I said, people are treating this card like bulk. They're still treating it like bulk right now. And I can see it. Yeah, that's why I'm not telling you guys enough details about it that you can pinpoint what I'm talking about. But I thought it would just be some nice info for you guys because you guys actually stayed with me this entire time. And maybe you guys can apply this idea to other areas. Maybe you can walk away in some areas with you'll find some inconsistencies for yourself. Maybe you'll find theoretically like a tag team powers tin, like the Mew and Mewtwo alternate art, is underpriced. Not saying it is, just theoretically.
Heck yeah.
And that's essentially what I've learned. One of the biggest things is just look for market inconsistencies. I'm not looking for the shortcut for the deal. I'm looking for something that looks wrong. That's how SM Pratt found the fossil box. That's how I figured out that Hidden Fates ETBs were undervalued. That's how I figured out that this card was being undervalued. Oh yeah, Sarah, by the way, this is the area you can come back to every now and again, and you can get free Daedra Hearts.
I don't know what I just took.
Nah, don't buy a cheap card and it'll go up. Just look for the inconsistency. Like a perfect example, Steam Siege. I talked about that one. Because no one had faith in it, no one was holding the boxes. They were getting ripped because I saw a bunch of streamers and breakers breaking open the box. There's like no PSA pop report for those things, and the few cards that are good in it are worth a couple $100. That's why, because their PSA 10s aren't that easy to find. And Steam Siege is what, 4 years old now, sir? 5 years old?
I think it's about 5 or 6.
5 or 6 years old. That's pseudo vintage.
Ooh.
All right. I was a little worried about hearing your opinion on Hidden Fates long-term wise. I was really confident about it a couple months ago, but now not so much. I always thought Hidden Fates was undervalued. Okay. When it comes to Hidden Fates, I want to keep comparing to Magic, but I know it's not good because a lot of you guys don't follow it, and I understand why Magic is boring as shit sometimes. Hidden Fates is a case of everyone knew it would be fantastic. No one doubted that for a second. And because that, everyone's holding it. But even though there's a ton of supply out there, eventually, when this supply dries out, it'll go to the moon. Or it's going to slowly go up, but it's always going to be slowly going up. Because everyone will want Hidden Fates. Think of the OG Shinings from the Neo series. No one really liked that set until suddenly everyone wanted those Shinings, the original Shinings. That's why even though Neo Revelations only has 2 Shinings, I think it's either on par or higher than Neo Destiny. It's just hard to tell because those boxes are just all over the place. It's the OG set. Hidden Fates is going to be the OG Shiny Vault set. And the reason I use OG is because you can bet your taco that Pokemon is not going to let any of these Shining sets go. They're just going to keep printing more. It's easy money. They're just going to keep making more Shining sets. That's why I'm really expecting a Neo Series reprint for the 25th anniversary. Sarah's going to have to hold me back from those Magikarps.
Mm-hmm.
I'm selling the slabs, selling the singles, holding the seal. Lots of slabs coming to market soon for good prices. Yes. Slabs are going to be the most volatile aspect of the market and are most susceptible to the crash. But again, just like Rudy says, you can convert from sealed to singles, but you cannot go back unless if you're a really good con artist. So sealed will be more likely to retain its value. And keep this in mind, Hidden Fates is going out of rotation this year. This year, Cosmic Eclipse is going out of rotation guaranteed. And Hidden Fates is probably going to go with it because every year 4 standard sets get cycled out. If Hidden Fates actually rides off into the sunset, do you have any idea how cheap $150, $130 for a Hidden Fates ETB will be? That will have been a steal. The Champions Path ETB promo seem undervalued, so you don't see how full art Zard is the same price as a holo. Yeah, they do seem underpriced to me, but I think it's because a lot of people got burned with Champions Path. A lot of people were expecting it to be easy tendies, me included. I got stuck with the product. I was an idiot. And that's fine. My first go in that rodeo. But at the same time, there are quite a few of those promos. It'll be interesting to see how it appreciates. I do think it'll be something that's sought after because it is a very nice card. I think it looks better than the black one. I don't know. The black one just looks kind of gross to me. It doesn't look right. All right. I think Shiny Star V is a super good set. 2 Shiny Zards that are my favorite. Marnie, etc. Better than Shining Fates and Hidden Fates, in my opinion, because 2 Zards, Skyrim, Marnie, etc. Yeah, I think if Shiny Star V or Shining Fates had released exactly like Shiny Star V, it would have been way more competitive with Hidden Fates. Get rid of those stupid tin promos. Why did they have to make Champions Driveway like that and give it 2 Zards as well? So stupid. Yeah, Hidden Fates was the first set with a full art shinies too, which is cool. I got 20 TVs. I had 30, but opened 10 because it was just too much fun. I created a master set, which is complete with a ton of extras. I have a can full of cards of PSA as well. I think Shiny Star V is gonna moon as well. Yeah, Shiny Star V, that I do have faith it's gonna grow pretty steadily. I think it'll just follow the standard trend of a Japanese set. It's slow, steady, all the way up. And I don't know how the Hidden Fate singles are going to do, though. Keep in mind, the intrinsic value of a set does not have to be completely correlated to the price of the box. The further down the timeline we go, the further apart these two can deviate. You can have them separate more and more, and it'll be fine. And people will accept it. It's why there are sets that have like terrible intrinsic values but massive price tags. And that's fine. It's supposed to do that to prevent arbitrage. Arbitrage being taking sealed, converting it to singles, making instant profit. So, I'm about to wrap up in about 5 minutes, so I'm going to take this last question and then we're getting out of here for the day and I'm going to make my video. And we're planning on streaming again next Thursday. I think we're going to do Stardew Valley, so we're probably going to schedule that right after this. Shiny Star V is already almost as cheap as Tag All-Stars. All-Stars are recently pretty cheap. Have you checked out Matchless Fighters? You have pretty cool Galarian birds in there. Yes, we did talk about that. It was the Chilling Rain, because Matchless Fighters is going to go into Chilling Rain. Sarah thinks they're really nice. I think they're going to be cool. That set's going to be a hit. I'm a little worn out from all the sets we've been getting in Pokemon, because whenever you follow Japanese and English, you start getting burned out pretty quick. All right, sorry, you wrap it up, save your game. All right, guys, thank you for sitting through us during the stream. We actually did it right this time.
Hooray!
Right, so we're gonna schedule next week so you guys can be ready.
A whole quest while we did that.
Yeah, so we're gonna schedule it for Thursday, probably 6 o'clock again.
Yep.
So thank you guys for watching the stream, and I'll see you guys in a few hours. Bye, guys.
You better not make trouble.
And...
Yes.
I don't care if you're best buddies with the guild master. I'll still smash in your skull if you try anything.